There is a mistake more devastating than being wrong, more costly than a financial loss, and more permanent than a temporary defeat. It is the fatal mistake of looking powerless. Notice the language, not being powerless, but looking it. Power is a game of perception, a war fought in the theater of the mind long before it reaches the physical world. You can have a brilliant intellect, a noble heart, and a relentless work ethic, but if you broadcast the signals of weakness, the world will treat you as if you have none of those things. It will dismiss you, exploit you, and walk over you, not because it is evil, but because it is in its nature to test for weakness. Machiavelli, the unflinching anatomist of power, knew this to be the central law of human dynamics. He wrote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand. Your reality is irrelevant. The image you project is everything. You have been taught to be humble, to be agreeable, to not take up too much space. You have been conditioned to display the very signals that mark you as prey. This is not an accident. A population that looks and feels powerless is a population that is easy to govern. Today, you will learn to recognize these signals within yourself and systematically destroy them. This is not about arrogance. It is about strategic survival. It is about understanding that in the cold, hard game of power, looking powerless is not a state of being. It is an invitation to your own destruction." Lesson 1. The language of submission. Powerlessness has a voice, and it is the language you have been taught to speak. It is the language of hesitation, of apology, of seeking permission. Listen to how the powerless speak. Their sentences are littered with qualifiers. I think, maybe, sort of. These words are poison. They strip your statements of all conviction and communicate that you do not even trust your own thoughts. They use a rising intonation at the end of statements, turning a declaration into a question, subconsciously asking, "Is this okay? Do you agree?" The powerless apologize constantly, saying sorry for having a request, for holding a different opinion, for existing. Each apology is a small abdication of status. The most fatal linguistic habit is asking for permission for things that are your right. "Is it okay if I take my lunch break now? Sorry to bother you, but can I ask a question?" This language frames you as a subordinate, a child asking a parent for approval. A powerful person does not ask for permission to occupy their own reality. They state their intentions. "I am taking my lunch break. I have a question." The first step in shedding the appearance of powerlessness is to purge this submissive language from your vocabulary. Speak in clear, declarative sentences. Let your words land with the finality of a judge's gavel, not the tentative tap of a beggar's cup. Lesson 2. The posture of prey. Long before you speak, your body has already communicated your rank in the social hierarchy. The powerless make themselves physically smaller. They hunch their shoulders, cross their arms, and avoid eye contact. They fidget, betraying a nervous system in a state of high alert. This is the posture of prey, an instinctive attempt to appear non-threatening to a predator. It is a broadcast of fear. To reverse this, you must consciously and deliberately command your physical space. Stand erect, with your shoulders back and your head held high. When you walk, move with a measured and purposeful stride, not a rushed, anxious scurry. The most critical tool is your gaze. Hold eye contact when speaking and listening. A steady gaze communicates confidence and sincerity. Averting your eyes communicates submission and deceit. Stillness is also a weapon. While others betray their anxiety through constant motion, you remain calm and composed. This physical stillness projects an aura of mental control and makes you the gravitational center of any room. Your body is not just a vessel, it is your primary signaling device. Train it to broadcast power, not fear. You have now learned to recognize the primary signals of powerlessness in your language and posture. The next step is to construct a new set of behaviors, a psychological armor that projects strength and composure. Looking powerful is not about aggression or volume. It is about control. The principles in this chapter will teach you to master the subtle arts of interaction that separate the respected from the dismissed. Principle 1. Master the strategic pause. The powerless rush. They rush to answer questions, fearing that a moment of silence will be interpreted as ignorance. They rush to fill conversational gaps, fearing awkwardness. This haste is a signal of anxiety and a lack of control. You must learn to weaponize the pause. When asked a question, especially a challenging one, Do not answer immediately. Take a deliberate moment. Hold eye contact. Let the silence hang in the air for 2 or 3 seconds. This simple act achieves several powerful things. First, it communicates that you are not intimidated. Second, it gives you time to formulate a precise, calculated response rather than an emotional reaction. Third, it forces everyone else to wait for you, subtly shifting the frame of control in your favor. The person who is comfortable with silence is the person who controls the rhythm of the conversation, and the one who controls the rhythm controls the interaction. Principle 2. Stop explaining, start declaring. A fatal habit of the powerless is the compulsion to over-explain. They feel that their decisions and opinions are not valid unless they are justified and accepted by others. An explanation is a defense, and defending your position is an inherently weak posture. It implies that your position is open to judgment and requires validation. You must replace explanation with declaration. State your decision, state your opinion, state your boundary, and then stop talking. Do not follow it with a long-winded justification. The power is in the finality. This is the decision. My position on this is clear. That does not work for me. This concise, declarative communication signals unshakable conviction. It communicates that your reality is not a proposal to be debated. It is a fact to be dealt with. People may not agree, but they will be forced to respect the certainty from which you operate. Principle 3. Make your presence a conscious choice. The powerless are always available. They linger in conversations hoping for inclusion. They are the first to arrive and the last to leave. Their constant presence signals that their time is not valuable and that they have nowhere more important to be. To look powerful, you must treat your presence as a scarce and valuable resource. Be the one who has a clear reason for being somewhere and a clear reason to leave. Enter a room with purpose, engage with intent, and exit decisively. Be willing to be the first to end a conversation. This communicates that you are a person on a mission, that your time is structured and valuable. As Machiavelli understood, what is always available is taken for granted. What is scarce is coveted. By making your presence a conscious and deliberate choice, you transform it from a background commodity into a high-value asset. People will value your engagement more because they understand it is not given freely. You have now begun to build the external architecture of power. You are commanding your posture, your language, and your presence. The final stage is to fuse these behaviors with an unshakable internal mindset. Looking powerful is not a performance. It must become an authentic reflection of a sovereign mind. This chapter is about the execution of a powerful aura, the final step in correcting the fatal mistake. Execution 1. Cultivate composed indifference. The ultimate antidote to looking powerless is to cultivate an aura of composed indifference. The powerless are emotionally volatile. They are easily excited by praise and easily wounded by criticism. Their emotional state is a puppet, and the world holds the strings. You must cut those strings. Train yourself to receive both praise and insults with the same calm, analytical detachment. Praise is noted, but not needed. Criticism is analyzed for useful data, but its emotional sting is discarded. This is not about being cold or emotionless. It is about becoming the master of your internal state. When people realize that they cannot manipulate you with either flattery or fear, they are forced to deal with you on a completely different level. They must engage with your logic and your actions, not your emotions. This composed indifference is the signature of a mind that is truly free and therefore truly powerful. Execution 2. Move with an aura of inevitability. The powerless hope for success. The ITU powerful project, its inevitability. You must carry yourself as if your goals are not just possibilities. They are future facts. This is not arrogance. It is a deep, quiet conviction that radiates from your every action. You speak of your plans not in terms of if, but when. You approach obstacles, not as potential dead ends, but as procedural steps to be navigated. This aura of inevitability is incredibly persuasive. People are drawn to certainty. When you project an unshakable belief in your own trajectory, others will begin to believe in it too. They will want to be a part of your success. This mindset is the engine that drives a powerful presence. You are no longer just an individual. You are a force moving in a predetermined direction, and the world will either get on board or get out of the way. The final state You are the frame. The fatal mistake of the powerless is that they are always reacting to a frame set by someone else. They answer the questions they are asked. They defend against the accusations made. They operate within a reality defined by others. The final execution of power is to become the one who sets the frame. You do not answer challenging questions. You question the questioner. You do not defend against accusations. You reframe them as a reflection of the accuser's weakness. You do not react to the emotional tone of a room. You set it with your own composure. When you achieve this, you have made the ultimate correction. You no longer look powerful. You are the power in the room. Your presence defines the reality of the interaction. This is the end of the mistake. It is the beginning of your reign.